And hello, JM football fans, and welcome to Monroe Stadium in downtown Fredericksburg for tonight's homecoming game between longtime rivals, the Spotsylvania Knights, and your James Monroe Yellow Jackets. Welcome to the Union Bank and Trust pregame show, Fredericksburg's leader, banking and financial solutions. Herman Kay alongside Bob Blackburn, and we have Tim Coleman in the press box with us tonight. The Yellow Jackets, fresh off of a bye week, Yellow Jackets are primed and ready to begin their postseason push against the Spotsylvania Knights. Welcome, guys, and we're set for high school football here at Monroe Stadium. Homecoming.
Yeah, I tell you, the field looks great. You can't believe a hurricane passed through yesterday, right?
We were talking about it before we went on the air. Best thing about these football players walking around on this kind of wet, damp field is that they got cleats on. They aerate the field so the water has somewhere to drain.
That's very true.
So,
very
Tim,
true.
how you been doing?
Been doing good, Herman. Just we had this week off, and Charles Thomas, the guy that heads up our TV broadcast, he had to be out of town this week. So
is he doing a commercial?
I didn't mean to.
Oh, all right.
But anyway, so I was able to be here with you guys, man. It's always an honor for me to come in and hang out with you guys. You know that.
And we're glad to have you alongside too, Tim. Well, the Yellow Jackets picked up win number 2 on the season a couple of Fridays ago with a 21-7 win over the King George Foxes. It was a must-win, gritty effort for the Yellow Jackets as the run game churned out yards and the defense stood tall and only allowed a first-half touchdown. Yellow Jackets a couple of weeks ago, Bob, hit their stride, and we've been looking for that type of performance from this JM team. They are capable of playing some pretty good football.
They really are, and with a bye week and everybody healthy and everybody fresh and ready to play football. Katie bar the door, is that what they say?
Tim, I don't know whether you've seen the Yellow Jackets this year.
No, it's the first time I've had a chance.
So we will wait for you to critique and look at the Yellow Jackets. And, of course, Spotsylvania Knights, a big part of what you've been doing in your career as we get set for the national anthem here at Monroe Stadium. Fantastic job by the Monroe Singers. Understand, Bob and Tim, they've got some alumni singers coming back to.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they sounded great.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the Yellow Jackets a couple of weeks ago against King George. Yellow Jacket defense forced 4 turnovers, including 3 interceptions. And senior safety Brandon Woolridge collected 2 of those interceptions and returned 1 of those for a second-half touchdown to close out the scoring for James Monroe. Big game tonight for both teams. Must-win situation here by the Yellow Jackets and the Spotsylvania Knights. And we'll talk about why that particular game is so important. It has to do with the position in the Virginia High School League ratings. So
right, exactly.
Very important for one of these teams to come away with a win here at home tonight.
Yeah.
This is the night we've been waiting for since August, Bob. Cool temperatures, football weather.
Isn't that you're right. You hit the nail on the head. I tell you, we've had one of the hottest, wettest football seasons up to this point that I've ever seen in my life.
And I think that's true across the whole area, Tim. The amount of rain, ground is just saturated with water, and there are no water shortages in the Fredericksburg area. I guarantee that. Yellow Jackets won the toss. They deferred, kicking off. In kick taken at the 20, 25, up the middle. Gets into the secondary, midfield, 45, 40, 35. He's gone up the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow. Ouch.
They didn't give me a chance to park the car.
if you look at that unfold, you know, if you're Spotsylvania, you're on the road, you're coming over to Fredericksburg, you couldn't ask for a better start, and James Monroe just didn't get down and cover that kickoff.
Well, I will say this, homecoming, and I will say it, and we've been saying it for years, Bob. They have so many activities on homecoming day, activities at the school, the parade. Kids seem to be flat when they come out to play football. Extra point attempt by the Knights. It's good. We'll talk about that opening kickoff for a touchdown. Just like that, it's Spotsylvania 7, JM nothing. We'll be back after this timeout. Welcome back to Morris Stadium, 7-0, just like that. I apologize for not giving you the time to get a soda and some chips. Sit down and watch this one. But 81-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by number 14, Daquan Carter, 6-footer, 180-pound senior. Here's a kick, and it goes out of bounds. Penalty on the play. So just like that, what happened on that kickoff?
You know, you're coming down through that, you got to stay in your alley, and everybody filter to the football, and they started running to the ball too early, and then when he broke it to the outside, there was nobody there in that alley.
So just like that, 7-0, 11:45 to go in this opening quarter. Just getting underway here at Morris Stadium. Homecoming 2018. Bob, I understand 55 James Monroe alumni band members are here tonight with the James Monroe High School Marching Band. And the daughter of Ronald Jordan is with the group, Crystal. Yellow Jackets number 2, Woolridge.
I say suit him up. That was a nice catch by Woolridge.
13-yard pickup by the Yellow Jackets, and it's a first down out to their 47-yard line. So what a great gesture there by these alumni members coming back.
Yeah, it's a big night. Band, cheerleaders, football players.
First and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Pitch flag. Illegal procedure call. Did somebody moved on that offense, Tim?
Yeah. You know, Herman, I've been talking all fall about pre-snap penalties and how it's either hurting the offense or hurting the defense. Here in this case, Spotsylvania was in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
But you know, we've just seen a ton of pre-snap penalties where teams are starting 1st and 15. You know, because on the offensive side.
So where does that come from? Lack of discipline?
Well, you would think though this time of the year that your offense and defense have seen enough to stay disciplined, but you know, here again, you're working with 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
1st and 5 to go. Yellow Jackets on the run. And
his way down to the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 2 yards upcoming for the Yellow Jackets.
That was a nice stick in there, I tell you. Spotsy's for real on D, I can tell.
I was talking to Eddie Haynes before the game, and Eddie told me, he said, Coach, he said, I think one of the keys for us tonight, we've got to be able to run the football and balance up our offensive attack, be able to throw some passes when they think we might run. So, you know, and that type of thing. So that's going to be a key for them tonight. They've got to be able to be able to run the football, which they've done better in the last game. 2nd
down and 2 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. They run right, pitch, nice block on the outside, and down inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. A great run, great block, and nice to see those fast guys get out on the edge and turn it upfield.
Yeah, and you know what's even better, nicer to see, Herman, is seeing your wideouts block a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, instead of thinking all they got to do is run down the field and catch a pass, always great to see them being able to block some.
Yellow Jackets on the move here. 1st and 10 yards to go at the Spotsy 40-yard line. Quarterback, handoff. Run up the middle, runs into a pretty tough defensive front there by Spotsylvania. No gain on that running play, setting up a 2nd down and 10 yards to go with 10.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter.
Yeah, you know, at the beginning of the season, Curry had some big games rushing, and then when he was out of it, especially in the Chancellor game, wow, it made a big difference.
Yes, he did, Bob. 2nd, 10 yards to go. 4-5 wideouts for James Monroe. Swing pass in the flat over the head of the intended receiver. That was number 9, Zach Davis with the throw. And got to lower that elevation just a little bit on those type of passes.
You got to keep his elbow up. I've had the honor of I've been working with Zach for the last 2 years and doing some quarterback stuff with him, and he's come a long way. I was talking to Coach Survey last week. He said that he was really been impressed with how he's come along the last couple of years and developed as a quarterback.
3rd and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Zach looking, throws a pass. It's going to be picked off on the return for Spotsylvania. 40, 45 midfield into JM territory. Cuts it back inside and finally knocked down at the James Monroe 30-yard line. Yellow Jackets snake bitten again with an interception. They were moving the ball pretty well. Had a good drive going. And the interception by Spotsylvania.
I think that was Day Carter, number 14, the one that returned the touchdown for the kickoff for a touchdown.
Carter can do it all.
Busy tonight, busy.
Yep. Drove the bus over from Spotsy.
All right. So
penalty on the return. What was that called, Tim?
Holding, blocking the back.
Spotsylvania still takes over.
So the Knights have the football after the interception at the James Monroe, we'll say 47-yard line. 7-0 outscore. 9:54 to go in this opening quarter, and Spotsy with the football again. Single wing of formation and a run around the right side. Down inside the 45 to about the 44-yard line.
They do a nice job of hiding that ball. That's pretty deceptive there.
A lot of stuff going on in that backfield.
Yeah, on the defensive side, you just got to realize who your keys are and who takes you to the play on the defensive side. If you can get that figured out, you got a good chance of stopping this offense.
2nd down and 5 yards to go for Spotsy at the James Monroe 43-yard line. Quarterback gets the ball, runs off guard on the left side, and down inside the 40 to about the 36, and that should be enough for a Spotsylvania 1st down.
Actually, Bob, the guy that took that snap was that sniffer back. He took that sniffer back, catches that snap. He hesitates a second or two, and some of the JM kids just didn't realize who had the ball.
It's pretty deceptive. I tell you one thing, if you're not tall these days, you're not going to see much going on here.
1st and 10 for Spotsylvania. Boy, a lot of tricky stuff going on in that backfield. 20 years ago, I could pick it up.
Oh, me. This is
Carlos Evans, James Monroe High School basketball coach, coming into the press box. What a nice guy.
Yeah, I saw him in the reflection there, and I thought, he looks familiar.
Yeah.
Familiar.
So, gain of 2 yards on that running play. Second, and we'll say 8 yards to go for Spotsylvania. Direct snap back to the quarterback. He's picking his way through. A lot of missed tackles by the Yellow Jackets. They don't make some adjustments defensively. This could be a long night for James Monroe.
I tell you, Spotsylvania looks big, strong, and they're pushing the ball. It's only the 4th play from scrimmage for them, and they're knocking on the door again.
They've got some good-sized linemen,
Yeah.
and thing about it is most of these linemen they got are young and be back.
Tim, you've always had great linemen, big size out there at Spotsylvania.
Yeah. It's always been some good-sized kids.
Yep. First and 10 yards to go. A run off guard on the right side. Might have picked up a couple of yards, bringing up 3rd down with 7:43 to go here in this opening quarter. 7-0 if you're just joining us. Want to say hello to some folks. Ruth and Marie Thomas. Ruth is at home, unable to get out to the ball game. You know, Ruth is a big James Monroe
I tell you, I see him every game.
supporter. And we just want to say hello to him and his lovely wife, Marie. Joseph Brown Jr. in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Joseph played in James Monroe High School band, and he's a band director up at a high school in Atlantic City. So we want to say hello to him. And Cindy Hurley. Cindy is down in Montrose with no power because of the tropical storm.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go, second and about 5 yards to go. Run right side. And they've got to first down.
Wow, they're powering their way.
Yes. I don't know, Tim, whether the Yellow Jackets can adjust and stop Spotsylvania, but tell you what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to outscore them.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to do that, Herman, because Spotsylvania capable. You know, they put 51 points on the board last week against Carolina.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, they put 34 on the board against Orange.
So they can score. First and 10 yards to go. Run down near the 5-yard line.
You can't believe those holes on that offensive line. That's incredible. They're wide open.
Well, you know, you look at that, Bob, and you say, oh, they're not picking up much, 1 or 2, and then you look down, it's 2nd and 4 or 5, and they're making 4 or 5 yards.
Just positive yards all the way through. Yep.
Third down, make it 2nd down and goal for Spotsylvania at the James Monroe 4-yard line. 6:20 to go, opening quarter, 7-0. The snap, a run around the left side, slipping tacklers into the end zone, touchdown. 4-yard touchdown run by Spotsylvania. After the interception, Spotsylvania had a penalty, but they got the ball at the James Monroe 48-yard line. They marched it down the field and put some points on the board and could go up 14-0 here with a converted extra point. PAT upcoming here by Spotsy. Snap to hold. The kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 6:06 to go in this homecoming game here at Maury Stadium. Outscore, Spotsylvania 14, JM nothing. We'll be back after this timeout. Welcome back to Maury Stadium. 14-0. Yes, I said 14-0 Spotsylvania. Been a long time since the Knights have manhandled the Yellow Jackets like this. Direct kick, and it goes out of bounds on the far side of the field.
Out of bounds, 1 more.
Yeah, it seems like last year the roster wasn't that large, and JM didn't have a lot of trouble out at Spotsylvania last year. But wow, this team is.
Head coach Jeremy Jack for the Spotsylvania Knights has done a pretty good job since he's been there.
Yeah, he has done a good job, and you know the thing is he's brought some stability to the offensive set, and you know, running some misdirection football with big linemen. You know, it just, you know, if you look at the blocking scheme, Herman, of this single wing, gap down backer, that's the blocking scheme.
Yeah.
Wing T football back in the day, gap down backer. So
Yeah.
you got the same blocking scheme basically, and this offense you do the.
We had another team
Wing
this
T.
year that ran a wing T that we played against. I can't remember who it was, and were effective in running it too. So Spotsylvania with a ground game here, minus that opening kickoff for a touchdown. So here we go. Knights set to kick off to James Monroe. And again, it's a line drive kick. Back to retrieve it. 15-yard line, trying to get to the outside. And
Around the right side, gonna get to the
That might, I thought that might have drawn a flag, but it didn't.
Yeah, I was looking at it myself. It looked like he
for the Yellow Jackets.
definitely made the hit out of bounds, but
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I thought so too, Bob.
Wasn't. I guess what do you call it? Dramatic enough.
I
So
guess.
got away with it.
so the Yellow Jackets will have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Yellow Jackets have got to put something on the board here. Got 3 receivers, trips to the far side of the field, 1 to the near. Snap, pitch, around the ball come out. Knights are claiming that they got it, but no indication from the official. Boy, they're upset on the far side. I thought it was a quick whistle.
Run by number 25, Deontay Curry.
Yeah, and number 7 was pointing like he knew.
It is a fumble.
Oh, for crying out loud, he did know.
So the Knights getting the fumble recovery
1st and 10 for the Knights.
after the officials had a little sidebar out there. They discussed what happened, and the Knights come away with the football. 2nd turnover tonight by James Monroe in this opening quarter.
Well, here's what you got to understand, guys. When you're facing a team that's a ground and pound type team, you got to figure they're going to eat clock, and you're not going to give us so many possessions of the football in a football game.
And you got to take advantage when you get the ball. Movement by the Yellow Jackets might be an offsides penalty.
Yeah.
Yep, offsides by the Yellow Jackets.
Offside.
First of all, they've got to settle down.
Yeah, you're right, Herman.
And 5
I mean,
for
being
the
down 14-0 certainly is not the end of the game. We know the Yellow Jacket can score,
Right.
but they've also got to play some defense and stop Spotsylvania's ground attack. And
quarterback
not
keeper gets about 2
too
yards,
bad
2nd down
of
and 3.
coverage on that particular play. Short gain on that play.
Well, we forget that the opening kickoff was for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And that'll take a little wind out of anybody.
But it's James Monroe's homecoming. They've got to find a way to claw themselves back into this football game. Spotsylvania's ready. They came here ready to play football, and the scoreboard certainly indicates that. 2nd down and about 2 yards to go. They run to the outside, and the Yellow Jackets swarmed
Around the right-hand side.
to the ball. Minimal gain on that play.
They ran to the football a little better on that particular play.
Yes.
3rd down.
They'll get the hang of it, but I'm hoping it's like you said, Tim, that they got
Hope it's not 40 points later, right?
It just seems like the wind is out of their sails, and with a fumble and an interception.
3rd and 2 yards to go for Spotsy at the James Monroe 18-yard line. Yellow Jackets on defense, and a nice defensive clog up in that defensive front. Minimal gain on that play, setting up a 4th down.
That time they played that snap to the sniffer back a little better, Bob. That's who that snap was.
That's the key to it, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah, it really is.
Big defensive play here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a field goal attempt here. Do you think?
No.
They're going to go for it on 4th
they
down.
Don't kick no field goal.
Oh my goodness.
4th and inches facing Spotsylvania. Crowd coming to life here at Maury Stadium.
Make some noise for the Yellow Jackets.
Big 4th down here. Spotsylvania applauding. The Yellow Jackets must have jumped offside.
Yeah, they jumped in the neutral zone.
Well, you got a situation like that.
Unless they got drawn off, Herman, I don't know.
Or you got to credit the quarterback with his cadence, too, to draw him off.
Oh, it is illegal.
No,
procedure.
it's against Spotsy.
Boy, that's a big break for James Monroe.
Yes. As we say, they dodged the bullet.
Yeah,
So-
they still got to stop them on 4th down, though.
That's right. And, so that adds 5, but
It does.
I've seen them get a lot more than that in one play.
So we're getting a timeout on the field. We'll keep it right here with 3:48 to go in this opening quarter here on homecoming night here at Maury Stadium. Glad to have you alongside tonight, listening and watching our game. 2 quarterbacks. How in the world did I get up here with 2 quarterbacks?
Because you like to sack us with you.
Look,
You like
as much as I was defensive minded, but it's glad to have Bob Blackburn and Tim Coleman here in the press box. Both of these guys are in the history books from throwing the bomb.
Yeah, right to the ground for me.
Back to live action. 4th down, and let's see. Did they mark off a
You know
penalty?
what? I don't know what they done because it's got to be something. Because way the down marker is, guys, it's not illegal procedure or it's not encroachment. So
it's on replay.
I don't see how you do that.
I don't either.
That's a new one on me.
So they threw the flag.
It's going to be waved off. We're going to redo it. 4th
That's
They
a first.
waved off the flag. Never heard of that.
That's a first for me. I mean, it's got to be one or the other.
Yeah. And the crowd has reacted here. Terrible call by the officials. So we'll replay the same down and yardage again. 4th and inches for Spotsylvania. There's a snap, a run, cuts it back inside, and a nice lean. He's got the 1st down. They've got some splaining to do.
I've never seen a pre-snap penalty flag and not either be encroachment or procedure.
Yes, it has to be one or the other.
I've never that's got me baffled.
Yeah, and Tim, you've been around the game
I've been
a long
watching
time.
the game for almost 40 years, and
Yeah.
whew, that's the first one.
So 1st and 10 yards to go for Spotsylvania. Ball just inside the jam 15-yard line. Here's your snap and a run.
Touchdown.
Down inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. My goodness.
Yeah, somebody tripped him up right in the last minute. He
Yeah.
was headed for the dirt there.
Yellow Jackets have got to get their act together defensively or offensively. When they get the football, they've got to score.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they've had 2 turnovers. That's really hurt them.
Otherwise, Spotsylvania is set to blow them right out of Maury Stadium. Here we go. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Run into the end zone. Touchdown.
Touchdown for Spotsylvania.
Look like Tashawn Colbert. Running back, 6'2", 205.
Yeah, he's just a sophomore.
Kind of running like Eric Dickerson, straight up, but he stretched it into that end
He's
zone.
a good-sized young man.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Got him listed at 6'2", 205. Extra point attempt here by number 82, Justin. And it is up and good. Timeout on the field, 2:52 to go in this opening quarter here at Marriott Stadium. Our score, Spotsylvania 21, James Monroe nothing. Welcome back to Martin Stadium as we await to kick James Monroe. Boy, it's been an uphill battle thus far. Turnovers, kickoff return for a touchdown. Yellow Jackets have got to do something with this possession. It's a must.
Yeah, it is, guys. It's a must. If they want to get back in this football game.
Here's your kick. And it takes a bounce up 30 and dips inside out to the 35-yard line. So the Yellow Jackets, they've got to do something.
It's been a long while. CJM down by 21 in the first quarter. Still has 2.5 minutes left in it.
The biggest thing, Herman, offensively, they got to protect the football.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about an interception, you're talking about a fumble. I mean, you just, like I said earlier, against a team like Spotsylvania that's going to ground the football that you're not going to get but so many possessions in the course of this football game.
That's right, Tim, and you got to take advantage of when you have the football. That's going to be Zach on a carry out across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Pick up a 7 yards on that run. We've seen him do that a couple of times and pick up good yardage, but I think I would abandon most of my running game. I'll throw the ball. What do you think, quarterbacks?
Well, I'll let Tim answer that one because I tell you one thing.
Second down and 3 yards to go. Yellow Jacket, 4 wideouts. Quarterback looking. Pass across the middle. Behind. That quarterback went down late.
Yeah, Zach took kind of a late hit on that.
Yeah, he took a late hit. Let's see if I recognize any of these officials. They will remain nameless.
Yeah, the sports page had
as of now.
As of now, right? There we go. The sports page was talking about how it's changed over the years, the number particularly of referees.
Third down and 3 yards to go. Zach and flag coming out.
Going to be a flag on the play after Zach Davis runs.
I think we're going to have a holding call.
That's what I think too, Tim. Against the Yellow Jacket, when it rains, it pours.
Well, see, that particular keep, that was a zone read keep by the quarterback. Now, on first down, when he had the good pickup, they actually pulled the left tackle and trapped that guy, and it was a big hole. But this was more of just a zone read, and Spotsylvania was there to make the play.
And once again, the Yellow Jackets commit a foul here that hurts them. They were in a position where they could pick up the first down. Now they're faced with a third down and long at their 31-yard line. Zach looking, throws a pass, has a man wide open. Nice play. That receiver should have scored.
that wasn't Ryan, was it? No.
Couldn't pick up a number ball, but a nice long passing play for the Yellow Jackets into Spotsylvania territory.
He got that ball right in the window, Herman, between the squat corner and the safety getting over the top.
Yes.
Safety didn't get over that fast enough. Zach made a good throw.
And again, that's Woolridge. Slips a tackler, streaking up the sideline, pushed out of bounds at the Spotsylvania 19-yard line. Now the Yellow Jackets are cooking with gas.
Yeah, you get Woolridge going, and that's why I was asking, was that Ryan over there? Because if that had been Ryan, he would have been gone after that catch. So it's starting to click now.
And I shouldn't say he should have scored. It was a great catch and a great defensive play to take him down one-on-one.
Yeah, the safety did a good job, Herman, of getting him down to the ground in the open field. That's a tough play for a safety.
That's a tough play, you're right.
Especially against these good receivers that James Monroe has.
1st and 10 for the Yellow Jacket, 4 wideouts. Zach swing pass in the flat on the left side, cuts it back inside, slipped a couple of tackles, and advances the ball down to the 15-yard line.
You know what, Herman? I think somebody heard you say, let's go to the air. They're doing it.
But both of you guys know how important it is for a quarterback to get into a rhythm.
Sure it is.
And you can see he's getting into a rhythm now. 2nd down. And we'll say 7 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets in the red zone. First time tonight. 37 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Zach, handoff, run up the middle. What a great defensive play. That number 24, Ramadan, Isaiah, 6'1", 215, senior. Boy, he played off that block and made the tackle.
Yeah, well, that's your courtesy run right there, Herman, to keep him honest. You know, you still got to keep him honest a little bit.
Every now and then, put a little run in there. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. 4 wideouts. Zach looking over the head of the intended receiver. He had a man there. That was number 15, Jakari Struthers. Nice target at 5'11", but Zach overthrew him. And that's the way the first quarter will end here at Maureen Stadium. Spotsylvania fans are on their feet cheering their Knights as they open up a 21-0 lead in this first quarter. We'll be back after this timeout. Welcome back to Maureen Stadium as we begin the second quarter of play. Here in the press box, Bob Blackburn, my longtime friend and co-worker, and a great friend of mine, Tim Coleman, former coach. Tim, how many state championships have you won?
I've been a part of 8 of them.
My goodness.
Isn't that unbelievable?
And
we went for it. Didn't get it.
Yeah, I've actually, at Cortland, Herman, I've coached on 4 of those with Coach Brown as assistant, and then I've had 4 as a head football coach.
That's right. Of course, former head coach at Spotsylvania and Fredericksburg. Christian, where you also won a state championship.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you.
Yeah, you know, I was telling the young guy the other day, it's not about me as much as it's about, you got to have good coaching staff and you got to have good players, Herman. You know that.
Yep.
I've just been fortunate to be in the right place and try to get them in the right spots.
Here we go. 1st and 10 yards to go. Getting to the outside. Look at that run.
Oh,
my goodness.
Yeah.
He hurdled a JM tackler, picked up an additional 3-4 yards out beyond the 30-yard line.
Yeah, JM needs something to get their confidence back here. I tell you what, they are gun shy tonight.
Well, the biggest thing, Bob, on the defensive side is they're just not sure where the football is.
Yeah.
You know, the one key that can take them to the football most of the time, they're just not picking up on it, and that's that sniffer back.
Wow, they always have trouble with this sort of offense.
There's a run around the left side again. Runs over a JM player out of bounds, first down.
Wow.
But like you said earlier, both of you, Bob and Tim, said the Yellow Jackets gonna have to take advantage of the opportunities that they have, because this ground game will run time off the clock.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, Herman. It's going to take time, because Spotsylvania, as long as they can pick up yards in a positive way, they're not going to throw football. They're not going to risk interception. Not going to risk incomplete pass. I mean, and James Monroe hasn't done anything to stop them yet. That's a good play.
Yep. Yellow Jackets stepped it up defensively on that play. My man, number 76, Butter, Keyshawn Nelson, in on the stop. How about the interception he got, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, that was the height of the season so far. I tell you what, I know for him.
He had an interception?
He got an interception.
Yes, sir.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah, we were thinking it might be a run back pick six.
And he spiked the ball and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Minimal gain on that play. First down, second down. Here's second and about 9 yards to go. Ball at the Spotsylvania 45-yard line.
Wow.
Yellow Jackets broke the plane but got back. No flag on the play. And a nice hard hit on the far side.
That'll help.
Yeah. So they came up big there on second down. And don't know whether this is two-down territory, but the Yellow Jackets have to come up and make a big third down play here.
I think if they can stop them right here on third down, I think they'll get off the field, because you definitely, I don't think you're in four-down territory right there if you're Spotsylvania. You got to punt the football away if you don't pick it up.
So third, 8 yards to go from the Spotsy 45-yard line. 9:30 to go in this second quarter. Quarterback running an option. They're going to throw the football, and nice defensive play. He was back there in excellent position, and a good throw from. Wasn't a quarterback. It was.
Yeah, well, that was Day Carter, who was one of the wing backs. But he's also played some quarterback for Spotsylvania, and that's the thing about this offense. I played against a team one time, Herman, that ran that single wing, and they had a kid that when they rolled to the right, he was right-handed. They had another kid when they rolled to the left was left-handed. Neither way, you know they'll throw football now.
My goodness.
Because the lineman never went downfield.
Isn't that something? Punt here by Spotsylvania. Punter gets off a nice punt. Fair catch made at the 24-yard line. So the Yellow Jackets backs against the wall. 9:11 to go in this first half. Trailing 21-0. They need to score.
Yeah, and it's like the two of you have been saying, take advantage of it. It's almost like everything's a fly pattern now. It's not just passing.
Well, if they're going to get back in this football game, guys, they've got to put some points on the board, at least score one touchdown before halftime.
Yes.
There's nothing else to give the guys some confidence going into halftime.
Yeah, it would show sign of life, proof of life. That's what we're looking for here.
Three receivers to the near side of the field, one to the far. From the pistol, the quarterback drops back, plants, fires a pass, fly pattern up the sideline. And is it picked off? No. It was caught, but out of bounds on the far side. Nice coverage in that secondary by Spotsy.
Well, that was that Carter kid again, Daquan Carter. He's man-to-man on that backside on that single receiver, and he was pretty much step for step with that kid.
Yes, he was. Covered him like a blanket. And thus probably one of two great receivers for James Monroe. Great target. We're talking about Woolridge at 6'4", 201, a senior.
It looked like to me there was one other receiver in the vicinity, and of course he was wide open. But you can't second guess that. If you got a guy in your sights,
Well, he had his mind made up from the start. He was going to take that one-on-one shot on the backside. They playing zone on the trip side, man-to-man on the back.
4 wideouts and are catching a collision, and the ball is separated. Number 2, Tyshawn Tyler, the defender back there. And that was number 7, Aiden Ryan, who is as sure-handed as any receiver. That was a tough collision there.
Yeah, and if he had caught that, he probably would have put some plus yards in there.
Yep. So you got to go back. You got 2 good receivers there for the Yellow Jackets. Now they're faced with a 3rd and 10 at their 24-yard line. Trips to the near side of the field. 1 man to the far side. It's going to be a fake. Zach's going to have to get rid of it, and he's going to be sacked in his backfield for a loss of 4 yards.
16 yards to go upcoming.
Nothing happening offensively for the Yellow Jackets, and with 8:35 to go, Spotsylvania, they've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves right about now.
Yeah, they've controlled this first half, that's for sure.
Yep.
On both sides of the ball.
Yellow Jackets punt formation here, 4th down and about 14 yards to go. Union Bank and Trust Company, sponsors of James Monroe High School football. Punter standing at his 5-yard line. I hear whistles. Somebody's taking a timeout. We'll keep it right here.
Spotsylvania, 8:05 to go in the first half.
This guy sitting between us here, Tim, Bob Blackburn, celebrated a birthday.
All right, Bob.
This week.
Happy birthday.
And one of the longest celebrations.
Was it 2 or 3 days?
And you deserve it. All week long celebration.
God bless you. But
want to wish you a happy birthday, and what a great partner.
I didn't know I was going to get old. And if I'd known I got this old, I would have taken better care of myself.
But just want to say happy birthday, and many, many more, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy birthday, Bob.
Thank you, Tim. And
turned 39.
10th time I've been 39.
Jack Benny, right?
Jack,
4th down, punting down here for James Monroe. Punter over the head of the punter.
Oh, that's a safety.
And he picks it up, so it didn't go out of the. There we go. My goodness. When it rains,
it put 2 on the board.
It pours.
Well, you know what, guys? He's better off that he got a safety, because if he got out of the end zone, they tackled him. They're in position to get another touchdown.
Another touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have taken a knee in the end zone.
Yeah, or kicked it out the back.
High snap over the punter's head. He picked it up. He was tackled in the end zone, so safety for Spotsylvania. I don't want to say this, Bob, and we've done jam games for a long time, but this is probably one of the worst performances I've seen in any half in a long time.
They just got
even in the one Colonial Forge game, they got shut out. They made efforts in that game, even though they lost in a big way. But I see lack of effort here tonight.
It's incredible that JM has not shown a spark of any sort, and that's just not typical.
No.
But Spotsy is a tough team. They are controlling this.
And if they
game.
come back in the remainder of this quarter in the second half, we will destroy this half of the tape.
Oh.
The 1 week that I hated in coaching more than any other week.
After the bye, right?
Nope.
Homecoming.
At homecoming week.
Yeah.
Y'all hit on that earlier.
Too much stuff going on.
So much stuff going on.
Yes.
Trying to keep her focused and trying to keep them motivated and focused on the game. They're worrying about what's going on after the game,
the
dance
date.
on Saturday night and all that kind of good old stuff. And, sometimes they just, being kids, they forget about the football game.
That's right. And I've seen this happen before here at James Monroe. Some of their not so good performances were on homecoming, where there's so many distractions. I came up here today and watched the parade, and Was that intentionally kicked short?
I'm not sure.
Another mistake. And I know these are young people. They're in the process of learning and a little bit inexperienced. But some of the coaches tell me that you can coach these kids and tell them to stand right there, and they move 5 yards away from where you told them to stand. Sometimes they just don't comprehend exactly what you want them to do. So here we go, 1st and 10 for Spotsylvania at the Jam 35-yard line. Ball carrier getting to the outside. That's number 2, Tyshawn Tyler, 5'10", 160, senior on the carry. They're picking up 4 or 5 yards a pop.
Yeah, we couldn't say a cloud of dust, but
sprinkle of rain, right? Sprinkle of water.
Yeah.
His coach Survey used to call the old teams I had at Spotsylvania back in the day, he used to call us a bunch of mudders. He said them boys can play in mud better than anybody else.
2nd and 6 yards to go for Spotsylvania to Jam 30. There's a run in the middle, close to the first down marker. I mean, if you're going to get 5-6 yards on first down,
yeah,
that certainly makes second down play calling easy, doesn't it?
It's a piece of cake, isn't it, Herman?
Yep.
Your playbook's wide open, isn't it?
Wide open. You can throw the bomb, you can run, you can do anything. So they move the chain on the far side of the field. First down for Spotsylvania. 6:59 on a gloomy homecoming night here at Morris Stadium. Wasn't that way when it started.
No, everything looked good then, but
yep. Run around the left side. Number 2 on the carry, Tyler. Big pileup over there. Did that ball come out? Nope.
Didn't see it come out. But, I have to hand it to Spotsylvania. They do have a ball control offense, and they don't mind pushing the ball in your face.
When you look at these rosters of teams, particularly Spotsylvania, Cortland, Stafford, you see familiar names, last names.
Okay.
So we've gone through the cycle.
Herman, the Tyler name you're calling?
Yeah.
You remember a boy that played basketball for Spotsylvania years ago, Ben Tyler?
Yes.
That's his son, number 2.
And that's
that's exactly what I was talking about.
And number 23, who just got moved up to varsity 2 days ago, Tyrese, that's his younger son.
So
and then he had another one that played for Spotsy last year that graduated last year. You remember old Ben Tyler?
I remember Ben Tyler,
played for Allen Dunn out there.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, good basketball player.
Boy, you're taking me back now. Allen Dunn, basketball coach.
Yeah.
3rd and short facing Spotsylvania. And a run, and I think the Yellow Jackets might have come up big. Only had to get inches, and it's going to be 4th down. Had to get just inside the 15-yard line. So the Yellow Jackets come up big defensively, but let's see what kind of place kicker they have.
4th down and inches.
I don't think we're going to see a place kick, man. I think they're going to go for it.
I think you're right, Tim. They know they've got 2-3 yards anytime they want it.
If I'm not, wouldn't surprise me if they don't snap it to that sniffer back right there and let him go forward with it.
Here we go, 4th down and inches.
Nope.
And the Yellow Jackets stopped him, but he gets away and picks up. That's that offensive line surge.
I mean, you look at those kids, Herman. They got that. Them some pretty good sized boys they got down on the offensive line.
Terry Sadler, 6'1", 300-pounder. I'd run behind him on every play.
No kidding.
Well, that's basically what they're doing.
That's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 for Spotsy at the James Monroe, we say 11-yard line.
I think he might be the only senior lineman they have, Herman. I'm not sure.
That's great news. Bounces to the outside. Tyler gets into the end zone. 11-yard touchdown run. Tyshawn Tyler. 5'10", 160. Well, we don't have to go back quite to your days, Tim, out at Spotsylvania, but Yellow Jackets have had a low winning streak against Spotsylvania.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So they've got plenty to cheer about. 29-0 outscore. Extra point attempt here by the Knights. Just snap the hold, the kick, it's up. And this guy is automatic too. That's no good. Off to the left side. Timeout on the field, 4:19 to go in this first half of football here at Maury Stadium. 29-0 Knights. Back after this. Welcome back to Maury Stadium. Don't tell me Spotsylvania got the football. Yes, they did.
The rains of course. Wow.
On the kickoff, the Knights.
I don't think he intentionally did. It bounced off of one of the front line players and back towards the kickoff
My goodness.
team, and they jumped on it and got the ball, a chance to put some more points on the board.
How demoralizing can this be?
That's, 2 fumbles, 1 interception?
Well, Spotsylvania scored 29 in the first half or maybe more. Yellow Jackets got to think we can score the same amount in the second half. Optimist.
Yeah, I like that, Herman, but
You don't think so, Bob? First and 10, Spotsylvania. Floats went out there, and he still held on to the football. What a hard hit, but a great Tashawn Colbert with the reception.
wow.
Boy, he threw that thing 40 yards in the air.
Yeah, he lucky that didn't get picked back
Yes.
going back the other way. James Monroe, if that corner had stayed at home just a little bit longer, he'd have broke on that, and it'd been a pick six.
Yes, it would have been. But that was number 7, Aiden Ryan, defending on a play, but what a great catch. Took nerve to hold on to that one.
You're not kidding.
Second down and 8 yards to go at the James Monroe 48-yard line. And a quick hitter up the middle. Look at the offensive line surge out to about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, it's a ball.
I mean, if we look at time of possession in this first half, Spotsylvania has dominated
Yeah, they have.
the Yellow Jackets tonight. Yellow Jackets offensively have done nothing consistent tonight.
Yeah, I would have thought after the King George game that they may have turned a corner of sorts. But I tell you what, a big, strong team like Spotsy is pushing them around.
Yep. Third down and a yard to go for Spotsylvania. James Monroe 41, Yellow Jackets. And a JM player jumps offside.
That's an easy first down on third down.
They've done it twice tonight. Must be the cadence or something that's pulling them off sides. But that's all about discipline.
Yes, it is, Herman.
And you see plays like that, aggressiveness by jumping offside, but then they allow 5 and 6, 7 yards on a run. So first and 10 yards to go for Spotsylvania. A whistle.
Either got some movement by Spotsylvania or James Monroe's in the neutral zone.
I would bet it's Spotsy this time. Let's see. Somebody lined up in
Somebody
the neutral zone.
Yep.
And 15 yards to go.
Very seldom you see that call, do you?
You don't see that call
No.
very seldom.
Nope.
Because most offensive line, they're taught, you know, if I'm the center and I'm here, they're going to be back a little
Yeah.
ways on
Yeah.
their alignments. But
To be honored at halftime, members of the
So,
Home Club, please.
rare call. We've seen a couple of them tonight.
Thank you.
One phantom call earlier in the first quarter. We still don't have an explanation for it. 5-yard offsides penalty lining up in the neutral zone by Spotsylvania. 1st and 15 yards to go. Ball back out, movement again. It's got to be that.
it's going to back Spotsylvania up 5 more
Yeah.
yards, Herman. The left end jumped.
So,
Prior to the snap, false start on
yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Little early, but that's okay.
We need all the help.
Funny
we
you
can
should
get.
say that, Herman. You remember when 91 when we went down and beat Salem?
Yes.
We stopped at a
I remember.
we stopped at a steakhouse on the way back, and Santa Claus was in there giving out candy canes and stuff. We had the trophy sitting up on the table. He looked at me. He said, "Santa does wear red, don't he?" I said, "He did today."
Yes, I remember very well. Was that the same time when my alternator went out on my truck?
No, that was a different time.
That was.
no gain on the
He still got away. You had a host of damn tacklers who bottled up the ball carrier, and some kind of way he slipped out of that stuff and picked up 2-3 additional yards.
Right, I would have thought they blew the whistle already, but they didn't. Wow.
So a minute 23 in this first half, and I would like to be a fly on the wall in the locker room from Coach Survey with his halftime talk.
You don't want any microphones in there.
I'm sure they'll keep the door shut.
Yeah, you should. No mics allowed. Another run by the Knights down inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line.
3rd down and 7 yards to go.
Big play here defensively for the Yellow Jackets. They have got to stop the Knights on this 3rd down play.
The spots, they don't look like they're worried about using any timeouts. I think they're contented going in with the score the way it is.
Yep. Comfortable lead, 29-0, Spotsylvania. 30 seconds remaining in this first half. Knights with a big 3rd down play. Quarterback rolling out with the football, looking downfield, is going to turn it upfield. And was that the head-to-head collision there?
No, I think we got holding.
Holding against Spotsylvania. I did see helmet to helmet there too.
You know, I thought he got the helmet across the guy's body, Herman, but you might be right. But
well, I tell you what, to be honest, I didn't see it. I heard it.
that was good. That was a good lick.
Yep.
That James Monroe, the young man James Monroe, put a good lick on him.
So the Yellow Jackets coming into this season, not real high expectations. Coach Survey was really concerned with his offensive line. He was talking about how young, inexperienced they were. But they've got a lot of young players in key positions out there, and they are beginning to find out really who they are.
Mm-hmm.
2nd down and 17 yards to go. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. Nice ball. And it's going to be a jump ball, and it falls incomplete.
Wow. I thought he had that.
Flag coming out.
A flag coming out. I wonder what that's.
That looked like good coverage to me.
It's a late flag. It's got to be taunting some way or another. It's a dead ball foul.
Yes.
I think a dead ball foul brings with it, if it's against the defense, it brings automatic first down.
Yeah, automatic first down. So we'll just have to wait and see what the call is. Unsportsmanlike against James Monroe.
Yeah, the
My goodness.
frustration's starting to show up already.
14 seconds to go. They've got time for a couple of plays here. Tim, that will be not quite a first down, is it?
Well, I thought dead ball, unsportsmanlike, carry with it automatic first down, but maybe it doesn't, Herman.
Yeah. So they're going to move the yard mark on a fourth down and about 3 yards to go.
3, yep.
Only 14 seconds remaining. Got a lot of stuff to talk about at the half. So hang around. A lot of festivities down on the field. Crowning of the king, queen, prince, princess. And every time I see that, I have to wait for the correction from my friend here. And I think I got it right, Bob?
Yeah. Yes, we require help like that. We want to wear numbers tonight. Right?
Timeout on the field. Knights taking a timeout. 14 seconds to go. Will they take a knee here, Tim?
No, they ain't gonna take a knee. I believe they're gonna, with a couple timeouts, I think they're going to try to throw the football.
Coach, would you try to put more points on up by 29?
Me personally?
Yes.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No, because I'd run a safe running play on fourth down, and if I pick the first down up, I'd probably kneel it out and go in at halftime.
Yeah.
Regroup.
Okay.
I mean,
so we'll see head coach Jeremy Jack, what he's taking his time out for. Probably just to settle his players down. He probably will do the same thing you just talked about. Now, Bob and I, we throw it.
We've already agreed early and often. Right?
That's right. We put this sucker in the air, man.
And they might, but I mean, I think he's going to keep it on the ground, but he might throw it.
So fourth down and a yard and a half to go for Spotsylvania.
With this formation set they got, Herman, with the wide out, it's a passing set for them. But
let's see what they will do here on this fourth down play. They're going to throw it. Quarterback rolling to his left now. He's going to run.
He's going. Oh, my
and
gosh, look at this.
Has the first down inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line.
They might try a field goal, maybe.
Field goal unit. They did not take a timeout.
See, what they don't understand, they got the clock stops for a second, then they wind it.
I don't know how they're going to get this play. Now they clock it with no time left on the clock.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That should end the first half. Boy, that's poor.
It's like they're staying down there. What's up?
Poor use of time here.
Well, here's the thing. If you weren't going to worry about kicking a field goal, then don't worry about trying to clock it. Just let it run out.
Yeah.
But according to the scoreboard, they had a timeout they could have used and set up their field goal if they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't understand. Poor clock management there toward the end of the first half. So that's going to end the first half of play here at Morris Stadium. And kind of gloomy night on this homecoming. Yellow Jackets losing by the score of 29-0. We'll be back to talk with Tim and Bob coming up after this timeout. Welcome back to Morris Stadium halftime. Lovely couples making their way across the field. It's homecoming tonight here at Morris Stadium. 29-0 our score. It's been all Spotsylvania. And Bob, you can recap the scoring in the first half, and we'll get Tim to analyze what he thought of what happened in the first half.
Well, it's all been Spotsylvania in the first 5 seconds of the game. They took the opening kickoff 81 yards back for a touchdown, and that was Daquan Carter, and the point after was good. They took a 7-0 lead. Spotsylvania had an interception and a subsequent drive at 6:06. 4-yard TD run by Tishawn Tyler, and the point after was good once again, and they took a 14-0 lead. At 2:52, they were back on a 2-yard TD run by Colbert, and the point after was good again, and Spotsylvania was leading 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Spotsylvania scored again when James Monroe kind of fumbled the punt snap, and they got a safety, and they added 2 more points, 23-0. And the final points were scored at 4:19 of the second quarter on an 11-yard TD run by Tyler. Once again, point after, no good this time. And Spotsylvania holds a 29-0 lead here at James Monroe's homecoming in Maury Stadium.
Thank you, Bob, for that recap of all the scoring. And a lot of scoring by Spotsylvania, putting up 29 points in the first half against the Yellow Jackets. Not too surprised that Spotsylvania put up 29 points, but I'm surprised that the Yellow Jackets haven't scored.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Of course, with they had 2 fumbles and 1 interception, so they didn't help themselves at all.
Tim, your assessment of the first half, having seen James Monroe for the first time this year?
Well, you know, from what we saw from the opening kickoff, I mean, you take it, Spotsylvania takes that back to the house. James Monroe's trying to answer, and if you really look at what happened out there, special teams play, okay, kickoff, return, touchdown. Special teams play for a safety, got snapped over the head. Okay, James Monroe turns the ball over on downs or interception, which led to another touchdown. So a lot of the points that Spotsylvania has had is they've capitalized on certain things and come up big on special teams.
Yeah.
You know, I've always said the secret of championship football is defense, special teams, and offense in that order.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, Spotsylvania puts 7 on the board with a touchdown return. I mean, against a team like Spotsylvania that is a ground-out team. You know, we talked a little bit earlier, you're not going to give us so many possessions in this football game. You've got to protect the football. In a pass, interception, fumbles, you know, James Monroe's been sort of their own worst enemy with you know, the turnovers and things that they've done.
You know, and looking at this offense, pretty different offense than we've seen before from Spotsylvania. You have to credit Jeremy Jack, the new coach out there, for bringing in a new system and getting these kids to execute and perform well on the field. And honestly, this does not look like a relatively new Spotsylvania team. Of course, some of the old teams that you had out there,
right.
I mean, you'd grind it down into the ground like you would believe. But we hadn't seen that type of football in a while. But not surprised, but really pleased with the type of performance and grit that this team has for Spotsylvania.
Well,
they're a legitimate 3-3 team.
Yeah, and here's what I think is contributed to that in the last 2 years. Jeremy Jack comes in with a misdirection ground attack.
Right.
Okay, he's doing something that those kids out in Spotsylvania County can do. You look at those big linemen, Bob, that they got. You know, they're running behind. You know, if Spotsylvania had to line up in 4 wideouts and throw it all over the yard, I don't think it'd be nowhere near as successful as what they're doing with this. And you know, and what you're doing more than anything, you're keeping it out of the hands of other offensive, especially if you're as explosive as James Monroe and can do the things that James Monroe can do. You're keeping it out of their hands.
Well, I tell you what, too, Tim. almost every feeder program, whether it's Little League, middle school, or whatever, they run similar type of offenses. Am I correct?
Well, you know, one thing that has helped Spotsylvania is going to help them. Post Oak Middle School, which feeds Spotsylvania High School, basically the only middle school. Now, they haven't been real successful with it yet, but they are running this offense. And they've got Jeremy has put a couple coaches in place over there to run this offense. And you know what? That's going to pay dividends down the road, because then when they get to the JV team, they at least have some idea of the principles that the offense has behind it.
And fundamentals will be in place. Certainly makes it easier when you, as a head coach, get these kids that pretty much know the system and can step right into play.
But see, one of the things, Herman, and you know, I don't know if a lot of people remember this. I don't know. You know, I would say, and I bet y'all do. But several years ago,
we're old.
When Jeremy Jack was coaching at King George.
Yeah.
That's right. There was a guy named Robbie Henderson coaching at King George. At the beginning of that year, Robbie Henderson, they was running a spread offense. Robbie Henderson was offense coordinator. Jeremy Jack was the defensive coordinator for Jeff Smith.
Okay.
Right before they played James Monroe, they switched roles completely.
Okay.
Jeremy Jack took over the offense at King George with the single wing. Robbie Henderson went to defensive coordinator, and King George came in here and beat James Monroe that night with the single wing. I don't know if y'all remember that or not.
I remember.
But James Monroe had the football right at midfield.
Probably, I remember.
Probably could have.
I can't forget it.
Probably could have run the clock out, and they threw the ball up a couple times for incompletions and stopped the clock. And that offense, Jeremy Jack, they went right down, scored, and knocked James Monroe off. I don't know if y'all remember that night or not, but I'm sure Jeremy Jack in the back of his mind is thinking, you know what? I did that maybe with some better athletes at King George, and what I got here at Spotsylvania, and it was successful. We might be successful tonight, and they have been coming out here tonight.
Well, they've dominated play in the first half of tonight's football game.
Yep.
29-0 our halftime score. We're going to take a little break and be back with the third quarter kickoff coming up after this timeout. Welcome back to Morris Stadium as we begin the second half of play. It's Spotsylvania on top 29-0. All Spotsylvania first half of tonight's football game. And hopefully the Yellow Jackets had the halftime talk of the century. And they could get back into this football game and make a game of it. Right now, they have shown us nothing in the first half. And Bob, you've got some of the results from the pageantry that took place during the halftime, correct?
Yeah. Got to have a little. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we didn't pick it up, and I apologized earlier. And maybe we better wait until the.
Here's your kickoff. Yellow Jackets on the return. He's got a crease. Streaking up the sideline. One man to beat. Did he step out of bounds? Yes. Stepped out of bounds at the Spotsylvania 45-yard line. I was getting ready to say, Tim, deja vu all over again.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what James Monroe needed. They needed something positive to happen coming out of that locker room,
yes.
Herman, and they got it off of a special teams play. And now we'll see if the offense, if this James Monroe team wants to get back in this football game, they've got to take this ball in and score.
Yes, sir. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. And Bob, whenever you feel like it, step in there and give your information. We'll do it after this play. Okay? 1st and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 4 wideouts. Quarterback. That's Zach Davis, the quarterback, as we just get underway here in this third quarter. Yellow Jackets trailing big 29-0. There's the referee's whistle. And Zach looking, pass, and a turn, cuts it back to the inside, and he stepped out of bounds at the Spotsylvania 34-yard line. So that's a 12-yard gain on that reception. Number 15 coming in, Jakari Struthers, 5'11", 175 junior, with a play from the bench, and Eddie Haynes.
Looks like the offense is coming alive here.
1st and 10 yards to go. 3 trips to the far side of the field. Quarterback gets the snap, rifles a pass, and he skips it off the ground. What happens for a quarterback when you throw a pass like that? You're not getting set, he's not stepping into it?
Probably not getting his feet set and stepping in the direction of his receiver. And I mean, sometimes you just, get excited and you just make a bad throw.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what he just got to put it out of his mind, go to the next play.
Bob?
Yeah, gotcha. Let's go real quick with just the queen is Jalen Owen, and the king is Turner White. We'll be back with the other winners tonight. But congratulations to the winning couple there.
Congratulations. Injured Spotsylvania player going off under his own power. Doesn't seem to be a serious injury. Certainly hope it's not. 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 4 wideouts. Offensive line is set. Here's your snap. Zach looking down in the corner and over the head, mix up on that route. Right. Nobody out there but the defender.
And the referee, that's a bad thing.
Flag on the play.
But the flag is over in the area of the field that's going to probably get a holding call.
Holding call, yep. Holding against the Yellow Jackets. Holding on that pass protection. Thus, it's going to be a penalty against the Yellow Jackets. And once again, when the Yellow Jackets look like they're trying to put together something, they shoot themselves in the foot with a mistake.
Yep, you're right, Herman.
So once again, I want to say hello to Root and Marie Thomas. Root is a big James Monroe Yellow Jacket fan, and he follows the team, but a little bit under the weather, unable to make it out tonight, so we want to say hi to them. Joseph Brown Jr. up in Atlantic City, who once played in James Monroe High School Marching Band. Band director up at Atlantic City High School for years. Say hello to him, and to Cindy Hurley down in Montrose tonight, listening and watching this game. And slips away, but a nice throw. That's a difficult pass, isn't it?
Yeah, he stepped into that ball well, though, Herman, and threw that ball. Actually, he threw it where his receiver was the only one that had a chance of making that catch. And
yes,
he made the catch and picked up some valuable yards for him. I'd say right now, you know, it's third and about 8, long 7, 8. They're in 4-down territory.
Yes.
They've got to, you know, they've got to go for it down here.
If they don't pick it up on this third down, they will certainly go for it on 4th down if they don't lose any yardage.
Right.
3rd down, and we'll say 7 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Trips to the near side of the field. The Yellow Jackets looking. Zach rifles a pass in the middle with the catch. And that's Struthers coming up with the catch. That ball was thrown behind him.
Yeah, that was a great catch by that young man. Good concentration on it, you know.
They've got some good receivers out there. Just got to get the ball to them.
Well, that all starts with your pocket protection, Herman. There's linemen got to do a good job and give him time to step into his throw.
1st and 10 yards to go. James Monroe putting together a drive here. Zach again rifles a pass and it's dropped. Turner White, the intended receiver on that play, 6'3", 158 senior. That's the pass that Turner would catch 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, what was it? The night that he had 4 different receivers score touchdown passes. That was beautiful to see how he spread it out.
He doesn't have any favors, does he?
No,
he'll spread it around. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Zach looking, throws a pass, and it was a hard pass. The receiver was going down, unable to come up with the catch.
Yeah, he was thrown behind him a little bit, Herman.
One thing about a quarterback, he has to put the ball out there where the receiver can catch it, correct?
Well, the route that the receiver was running, he was running a hook route to the outside. You go and, you know, if you go down and turn inside, it's called a curl. If you step outside, it's called a hook.
Yeah.
And he turned to the outside, and the ball was just behind him so much he just couldn't reach back and make a catch. That'd been a mighty tough catch if he'd have made it.
3rd down and 10 yards to go. Yellow Jackets. And again, across the pattern, across the middle, he had him and he dropped the football. Could have been a touchdown.
Wow.
Little skinny post pattern.
That's what it was.
And the quarterback right on target, but the receiver was unable to come up with the catch. So clock stopped at 10 minutes. 4th down and 10 yards to go. Yellow Jackets going to go for it. I'd run that post pattern again.
He was open.
Yep. Zach's looking. Corner of the end zone across the middle with the catch. And it's going to come back. Flag on the play. Probable holding call against the Yellow Jackets.
Wow.
Initial indication from the referee holding against the Yellow Jackets.
Well, they get a break, then they take it back.
Yep.
You know, these young linemen that James Monroe have right now, I guess they're not getting their feet under them enough, and they're grabbing more so than they're trying to get their bodies in position. You got to get your body in position with your feet and pass protect and move your feet, and they're grabbing more so than trying to get their feet in position.
And that's what you look for in a good lineman. You got to have good, quick feet, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Got to be a dancer out there. Got to be able to do the electric slide.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go. 4th down, 25 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 9:52 to go in this 3rd quarter. Yellow Jackets want to come away with something. Zach gets the snap, steps up, gonna run to the right side. Flag coming out.
Again.
Another holding call. And a pass that was batted around falls incomplete. Back in the pocket, going to be a holding call.
Yeah, there's going to be decline. Spotsylvania will get the football right there.
Wow, promising drive and sputtered out, didn't it?
Yeah, mistakes are killing them. So, Yellow Jackets coming off the field looking dejected, heads down. Got the ball down the field. but unable to punch it in. Mistakes killed him. Big mistake, a holding call on a first down that had to be brought back.
Yeah, that was a killer because Zach did a good job of coming off. He came off of 2 receivers and hit his third choice and made it through a good ball and had the first down picked up.
That's what you call progression, don't you,
Yep.
Tim? And a long run of 9 yards. And again, that's Tyshawn Tyler, 5'10", 160. Called his name a lot tonight.
I was watching where the ball wasn't, and I saw 2 JM tacklers in the backfield tackling the wrong guy.
Tackling, yep.
Tim, you coached Sharon Bird, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, he was my fullback on that 97 team, state championship team.
And my great nephew.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a rough day at that church for me.
Yes, sad day. 1st and 10 yards to go. Knights keep it on the ground, hurdling. Probable holding call against Spotsylvania. Number 75 for the Yellow Jackets checking in. Travis Dawson, 5'10", 300-pounder. Number 76, Keyshawn Butter Nelson coming out.
What grade is old Keyshawn in, Herman?
Keyshawn is a senior.
Senior.
Yep. Seems like Keyshawn's been around a long time.
He's just making it back from the sidelines after that interception that he had. And that was, 5 games back. He doesn't get off the field as fast as...
Takes his time.
Yeah, he does.
9:06 to go, 3rd quarter, 1st and about 20 to go.
Look at this.
My goodness. Look at Tyler run.
My goodness.
And still didn't bring him down.
Back them up 10 yards on a holding call, Bob, and they turn around and pick it up on one play.
Pick up 22.
Yep.
Man, that was a run. He just went, wow.
Well, this is when you earn your money coaching, don't you?
Yeah, you're right. You know, this is.
Is he coaching or cussing?
Probably a little both. Right?
A little both. You're probably
2nd
right.
and a yard to go. A little bit short of picking up that first down. That's going to be Tyler in the backfield. He spins out of that mess and might have picked up the first down.
That's incredible. It's unbelievable.
He's a heads-up ball player, you know, athlete.
He is a good athlete.
Yep. I mean, because that play was designed to go around the left side, and anybody would just run that play would have done just that.
Yeah.
But he put a spin move and all of that in it, so I like to see ball players like that improvise when they're running.
And that's what your good ones do, don't they, huh?
Yeah. 2nd and a yard to go, and he's picking his way through, holding call.
Yep.
That'll hurt.
Well, James Monroe's getting some breaks here with some of these holding penalties, but the defense has got to capitalize and stop them.
Yes. Get the ball back. And Spotsylvania don't seem to be as sharp as they were in the first half, and rightfully so. They sitting on top of a 29-0 lead, and they've been getting to feel a little comfortable out there, and a few mistakes are set in.
Again, just like we was talking about on the last series with James Monroe on offense, Spotsylvania's linemen are starting to grab more than you know, instead of getting their feet under them, and they're grabbing, and the referees are going to pick that up.
3rd and 12 faces Spotsylvania, and that's Tyler running around the far side, and he's pulled. That's the first time tonight Tyler has been thrown for a loss.
First time, yep.
And a great defensive play by a JM player.
Well, JM's going to get off the field, and they could use a good punt return right here and put them back in good field position.
Yellow Jackets with 2 punt returners back there. And the last time Spots have punted the ball, haven't punted much tonight. And this guy booms one high, spiraling kick. And the Yellow Jackets will let it going to be touched and down right at the 15-yard line.
Hey, Herman, you was talking earlier about the Carter boy driving the bus. Well, that's who did the punting too.
He done everything.
He done everything for him tonight.
Yes, sir.
And that was a heck of a punt, I tell you what.
Nice punt. And no return.
Yeah.
You know, the last year I was at Fredericksburg Christian, the season of 2014 when we won that state championship, his older brother, Darius Carter, was my quarterback over there.
Was he really?
Fredericksburg Christian, yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
So you're telling me that's pretty good genes running that family.
Yes, sir.
First and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Zach, draw play, up the middle. Close enough for the first down. Gets to the outside. Look at the speed as he races up the sideline and finally pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Something out of nothing.
That was a good-looking play right there.
Yeah.
Deontay Curry, haven't called his name much tonight. 5'8", 165, 10th grader. Now, Tim, they are some of those young players that will have an impact come next year for this team.
Yeah.
Trips to the near side of the field. They can throw to this side. You only got 2 defenders out here. Yellow Jackets run, cuts it back to the inside, puts his head down and picks up 11 yards.
All right, starting to look like a little spark going now.
Yeah, but you can't run it all night. 6:45 to go.
I don't know. Spotsylvania has, Herman.
But we could have done that if we had run that opening kickoff back to start the second half.
You're right.
We're still in the hole.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Second and a short yard to go for James Monroe. Ball at the 46-yard line in Spotsylvania territory. Low snap, picks it up. Zach looking, rifles a pass, and open receiver.
That was just a little bit high.
Yeah.
I mean, it was catchable, but it's been a good catch to bring it down.
I've never heard receivers in all the years complain about the lights here. Have you?
No, I really haven't.
I'm thinking maybe the lights a factor in catching some of these balls, but some of these guys are wide open. But I've never heard players complain about the lights.
Yeah.
They are pretty high.
It's a good lit stadium.
Here we go, third down. Zach on a run.
Another holding call.
What a shame.
I don't know who's doing that holding, but he would have a seat on the pine.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a coach, never coached, and really don't know what coaching is. But if it's the same damn player that's holding, they don't even have pine no more, do they?
Metal. You'll be feeling the metal.
Well, time has passed us by.
And that metal could get awful cold there. So the penalty against the Yellow Jackets holding once again when they look like they're going to move the football.
Yeah, exactly.
Something bad happens. Well, we should have gone into the locker room at the half and passed out horseshoes.
Rabbit's foot.
Yeah, 4-leaf clovers or something. Third down, and we also have viewership in Spotsylvania, so we're going to be real nice to our neighbors. Third down and 10 yards to go. Zach rolling to his right, rolling, looking, stops, plants, fires a pass, and a catch.
Yeah, you know what that was.
Cross the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he crossed the line of scrimmage.
My goodness, I've never seen things go so wrong.
Wheels falling off.
Yes.
Well, it's 2 flags, though, so it could be offsetting. It could be that he was over the line, and then it could be a late hit on the quarterback, so he might have offsetting penalties here. They might get to replay it down. That's just speculation. I don't know.
And I hope you're right, Tim. Dejection on the body language of the Yellow Jackets stating that it's going to be against them.
What two officials saw that he was over the line too, so I don't know.
Long discussion by the officials out there. Now let's see what the verdict is. Holding.
Got holding one call.
And personal foul, what is that?
Roughing the passer.
We have a holding and a roughing the passer.
Yeah, that's it.
So they replayed.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Coleman, you've been around this game way too long. You knew exactly what happened.
That's a break for the Jackets.
Yeah, it was a break for them. What, you know what, though, Bob? He caught the pass down there.
He sure did.
Yeah, he had the first down.
Yep. So another big third down play here for the Yellow Jackets. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Zach rolling to his left. Stops, slips, did not go down, and it's going to be intercepted.
And
on a return.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
My goodness.
Rains it pours, baby.
Turn out the lights.
Got a little Don Meredith going here already. What was the rest of it? The pod is over.
The party's over. Interception by Spotsylvania. Pass that was, it hit the defender, bounced in the air. Great concentration by him to pick that pass off. And once again, Spotsylvania with the football and another turnover. 1st and 10 for the Knights at James Monroe's 48-yard line. Run up the middle, 8-yard pickup.
Run up the middle.
Out to the 41-yard line. That's what's been killing the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I was wondering if that
huge yards on first down, Bob.
Exactly. I was wondering if that field was soft, and when I saw Zach kind of slip a little bit on that last pass play.
Yeah, I was down there earlier before the game. It was a little bit wet.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good from here, but it was a little wet down on the field.
2nd and 2 yards to go. Spotsylvania. Tyler on the carry, has the first down, and he's gang tackled right at the 35-yard line. This guy refuses to go down.
And I tell you what, Spotsy's playing a smart football game now.
Yes. Still, Bob, one of the better teams we've seen this year.
No kidding. You know, they come at us week after week. I know, right? Gee.
They loading up on JM this year.
Wow. You know, the only one I felt like we had, size-wise and strength-wise was King George.
Yeah.
It looked like we were even or maybe a little better than that as far as strength and size.
So we were Spotsy again running the ball up the middle. Current Virginia High School League power ratings, Region 3B. At number 1 is Culpeper. And guess what, Bob? Their record is 3-3. Spotsylvania is number 2, identical record of 3-3. Thomas Jefferson of Richmond 3-3. Brentsville 3-4. And James Monroe 2-4. And big game here for Spotsylvania as well as the Yellow Jackets.
Absolutely.
But 2nd down and 7 yards to go. And you see the 2nd and 3rd efforts.
I know those kids.
Yeah.
Those kids came over here to play tonight, Herman.
Yes.
Spotsylvania is going to be big time coming down the second part of the season here.
And I always say, because of the stiff competition within the Battlefield District, a lot of times when we get outside and get into the playoffs, we are battle tested.
Yep. Do well.
Yep. 3rd down and 3 yards to go for Spotsylvania. The quarterback turns and spins, and with his strength might have got the lean to pick up the first down. So you got 8 teams vying for the number 1 spot in Region 3B.
Yeah, they take 8 teams to the playoffs.
And Armstrong is in the 8th spot with a 1-5 record. Skyline 2-4, John Marshall 2-4, and James Monroe 2-4. And we've always said, other than Hopewell, we love to play the Richmond area schools because we seem to play them well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, playoffs are a lot different now. It used to be. You if you weren't one of the top 4 teams, you didn't make it.
You didn't make it. And it was generally the same teams that were powerhouses. You know, you remember you used to go over in the valley?
Oh yeah.
We very seldom ever see teams from over there now.
It's amazing. Hopewell's good again this year, from what I understand.
Yeah, they beat Petersburg, and we thought Petersburg was pretty good.
It's Hopewell, though. Hopewell's Division 4, aren't they?
No, they're the same, because we played them last year.
Oh, you did?
In the quarterfinals, I think. Look at the hole. Runs over a jam player, down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line.
Wow.
Inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line, first and goal for the Knights.
That powerful
Spotsylvania has always, not always, got to watch my mouth, because Tim is here in the press box. But for, I don't know, last 8-10 years, it's been lopsided. James Monroe has dominated.
Yeah.
Prior to that, you beat us a number of times and won a couple of state championships. And it is good for those people that have supported the Spotsylvania program to see this type of performance by their school.
Yeah.
Because at one point, Tim, out there, weren't they considering the kids paying money to actually participate in sports?
Yeah, they did. For several years, they had pay for play because they needed some money to generate some money. And kids had to play in all the sports.
Wow.
Whereas the other schools didn't have to do that, the bigger schools, did they?
Right,
And that's a run around the left side. Did it get into the end zone? No indication from the referee.
Third down and goal on about the 1-yard line.
So minute 17 to go in this third quarter. 29-0. Spotsylvania getting ready to tack on some more points here. Old-fashioned whipping.
Yeah, they're going to pull it on here.
Whistle.
Too much time?
Illegal procedure, I would think, from where that flag was thrown.
Encroachment on James Monroe.
Okay.
Can't catch a break.
No. Encroachment call against the Yellow Jacket. That means somebody is lined up in that neutral zone. Spotsylvania set again, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. And a direct drive plunge up the middle. And is that Tyler?
Looked like number 1, unless my...
The Anthony Pendleton.
Yep. If he's number 1, that's who that is, number 1.
That's another familiar name in Spotsy.
No kidding.
Well, guess what? He's in that group out there.
Is it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep, sure is.
5'9", 206, 10th grader. 35-0 extra point here by the Knights. There's just snap to hold the kick. It is up, and it is perfect. Timeout on the field, 54.6 seconds remaining in this third quarter. It's a blowout here at Maury Stadium. 36-0 our score. Back after this. Here's your kickoff. Ryan on a return for the Yellow Jacket. Cuts it back in, spins out across to about the 34-yard line. Nice, decent return. And I would take my running game plan and rip that thing up, throw it in that big trash can down there.
So what you saying is, Herman,
Air Coryell.
you got to chunk it on every down.
That's right.
And chuck it a fur ways.
You heard what my reference was? Air Coryell.
Oh, yeah. That's what he was back in the day.
Zach. Almost a miraculous catch by Ryan. That's Turner White, I'm sorry.
Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Zach, you don't need to rush it, babe. Just take your time and can't get it all in one play.
No. Well, you know, as you watch things unfold right now, here's what I'm thinking as a coach, and I'm on this sideline with James Monroe. We want some positive things to build on for Monday's practice.
That's right.
You know, that's what we're striving for here in this 4th quarter.
Even if it's just one good drive, you want to see them execute and put a touchdown on the board. And because those are the things that you work on. And that's going to end the 3rd quarter play here on homecoming. A couple of weeks ago, Bob, they were having fun down at King George as the Foxes hosted James Monroe for homecoming.
Yeah, that was King George's homecoming a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
They flipped the switch. 36-0, end of 3. Back after this timeout. Back to live action. It's going to be a touchdown. Is that Brandon Woolridge with the touchdown for James Monroe? We were away, and I apologize, as the 4th quarter began. Got to find out how long that was.
They had to wait until we weren't looking, but Woolridge made a nice catch and a nice run.
Well, I'll tell you what,
catch.
if that makes them score, Bob, we're going to turn our backs on the field.
Yeah, that's what it takes. Take the headset off and go away for a while.
So the Yellow Jackets with a long touchdown pass. And the extra point is good, 36-7. Tim, did you find out who that?
Yeah, it was Woolridge.
Okay.
Yeah, 65 yards on that
pass
and run.
Rack yards. A run after the catch. And the Yellow Jackets, Bob said we were talking and running our mouths, and we didn't see the play. So if it takes them... If it takes that for us to score, let's turn.
Maybe we ought to go. Maybe we ought to go down to Castiglia's and get something to eat and let them finish the game.
If I thought they could pull a win out that way, I'd go and buy everybody dinner. So the Yellow Jackets score on a long touchdown pass. Brandon Woolridge, not only a great receiver, good target at 6'4", good rack yards, can do something after the catch. And that time he turned that one into a long touchdown reception. 36-7. We got a ball game now.
Well, that'll help their mental psyche if nothing else, Herman.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Got to stop him. Gotta stop
And
him.
that's going to be pulled down from behind
Wow.
at the 30 or near the 30-yard line.
And he was
What a punt return.
Mm.
Kickoff return, rather.
That's that Pendleton, D.A. Pendleton again, Herman.
That's the guy we're going to have to put a little asterisk by his name there, Bob. We're going to see this kid for the next 2 years.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Told me Herman and Kay was up here. How you doing?
On the air. How you doing? Good seeing you. Maniscalco's. We know that name, right? Kickers. So, for some reason, and we don't mind it. Here we go, first down, and that's going to be number 24, Isaiah
Ramadan.
6'1", 215 senior on the carry.
I was watching the action in the backfield after the play. Was long developed, and Spotsy was still carrying out their fakes in the backfield.
And that's the key, Bob. You got to carry. And when you run in misdirection for that offense to be effective, you got to carry out fakes when you're not carrying the football. And if you don't, then the offense ain't going to work.
Yeah, and that's very unselfish to do that.
Yep.
Second down and 3 yards to go for Spotsylvania. Number 5 on the carry, weaving his way through. Is that Colbert?
Yep. He's a 10th grader.
6'2", 205. I'm looking at this roster, Tim and Bob. Got a lot of underclassmen on this team.
You know, it seems like every team we played has younger and younger players.
Yeah.
And they're developing earlier into skilled players.
First down and 10 yards to go. Knights on the ground. Short gain on that running play. Tim, what does that have to do with the quality of players that you're getting now? Is that because they have these programs?
Well, let me just throw this out to you, Herman. Right now, you remember Conway Reed, quarterback from the 94 team?
Yes.
All right. He's one of the JV coaches. Ben Whitey, remember that name?
Yes.
Center from the 91 team.
I remember.
He's one of the coaches.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job of developing these young kids and bringing them along and getting them ready here in the last 2 years for this football program.
That's a run up the middle, scramble for the football. Some of the Spotsylvania players are signaling that it's a touchdown, but he comes up short of getting in the end zone. So that's going to set up a first and goal from about the 1 yard line.
Well, Spotsy didn't waste any time answering back here, I tell you.
36-7, 9:46 to go in this fourth quarter. Knights knocking at the door again. They should have that door wide open by now, huh?
They done knocked it down, ain't they?
Knocked it off the hinges. Knights keep it in the middle. A scrum did not get in. And he's pushed back right around the 2 yard line.
Stop from the defense, second and goal.
Union Bank and Trust Company, proud sponsors of James Monroe High School football. And we're certainly glad to have them. Made a big, huge donation to James Monroe's athletic program. Folks with the money.
Yeah, that was nice. What a bank! It's a very well established bank and very popular bank here in the area.
I saw the red carpet come out behind us, wondering what that was all about, and then walks Jimmy Jones.
Dr. Jones.
We don't even get that treatment in our own press box, Bob. What's up?
Nice.
But Herman, getting back to what you were talking about earlier about, feeding the program, and that's probably as important or the most important thing in the building of a program is getting those younger kids to buy in and getting those guys coached up by some people that are got something going on with the program. You got two former players of Spotsylvania, two kids that have played on state championship teams, running your JV team, and doing a real good job of running that program.
Flag on the play coming out 42-7. Knights scoring again. Tim, you're absolutely correct. And they've got a James Monroe Yellow Jacket team. And Anthony Poole does a lot. These kids travel all over the country. And some of these players that we see, and they're not just from Fredericksburg, they're from the area.
Right.
And these kids win championships every year. So
I know.
Extra point is actually a field goal of about 25 yards. Kick is up. And it barely made it over the crossbar, but it's good. So timeout on the field, 43-7 our score, 8:44 to go in this football contest. We'll be back to talk about what's for dinner.
All right now.
After this timeout. Welcome back. Set for the kickoff. Knights kicking off to James Monroe. It's a squib kick along the ground. Goes out of bounds. Illegal procedure call against Spotsylvania. So the Yellow Jackets will get the ball at their 25-yard line. 8:44 remaining in this football game. A sad night for James Monroe's homecoming, but the festivities went on. We had the crowning of the king and queen at halftime, as well as the prince and princess, and a big homecoming dance tomorrow night. So had to hang out the window and give a guy a handshake.
The fame. Tonight's special for you. It is like 50 years reunion coming up.
So they had that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, a couple weeks ago. Okay.
You remember the same night that
okay.
Barry Sullivan, that class of '68.
Okay, so, but I mean, this is the homecoming game, and it's been 50 years. Time flies when you're having a good time.
That's right.
Okay.
I was only 3 back when I was playing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yellow Jackets caught up in the backfield, loss of yards. Is that a different quarterback in there too, Bob?
Yeah, I saw Hardy warming up, and it may well be, yes.
So loss of yards on that running play. Ball back into James Monroe, 29-yard line where it is 3rd down. And about 16 yards to go. 7:45 and counting down here in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, Jack Hardy, I think, is in that quarterback.
And this kid is going to be a good one.
What grade's he in, Herman?
Let me see. Pass intercepted again on a return. That's number 2, Tyler. Tyshawn Tyler. Tyler's going to be tackled. Flags coming out.
Oh, mercy.
Oh, Tyler sits back there at that center field. Look like
Willie Mays playing center field.
That's right. There. Say hey, kid. Flags all over the field. And once again, the Yellow Jackets turn the football over. Be interesting to see the number of turnovers for the Yellow Jackets.
Ooh, they've had several.
Yeah,
Costly ones, too.
At least 4, possibly 5, yeah.
A lot of folks will be surprised at this score, 43-7, but Spotsylvania's telling the area, we're for real.
Yeah, and I don't think they're done yet. Wow, what they played a powerful game tonight.
Well, you know, over in the Jefferson district, guys, Fluvanna is playing pretty well, and they only have 1 loss. In Spotsylvania, that's the loss that Spotsylvania beat them. That's the only loss they have, I think.
Is that? Yeah, because we got our scores from last week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly. Well, Fluvanna played Charlottesville last week, 37-29.
They beat Charlottesville, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Spotsylvania beat Caroline 51-12.
Yep.
So the Yellow Jackets catch a break.
Yeah, well, we have roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big break for them. Let's see if they can take advantage and put another score on the board.
So we got Hardy in there. He's 6'3", 195. Nice size for a quarterback. And it's got a rifle arm, pretty much like Bob Blackburn.
Yeah, that's the rifle.
And Woolridge, pretty sure-handed. Woolridge wanted to run before he caught it.
Yeah, you can't blame a high school kid for that.
No.
We see it so often.
Yep.
But guys, let me just say something. If you're gonna be a spread football team, and you're gonna throw it all over the yard, you better have a whole lot of receptions if you're gonna win football games. And because every time you get an incompletion, it puts you behind the chains.
Yeah.
You gotta catch the football. It's gotta be automatic.
Pass up the middle with a nice catch.
That was a great catch.
Mac Holland.
Now we got another flag up there in the backfield. What's that?
Going to be a holding call.
Probably going to be hold or unsportsmanlike after the play. Yep, unsportsmanlike after the play. Personal foul. Both ways. Offsetting.
So offsetting penalties, bringing the ball back, a replay of down, second down and 10 yards to go. But a great route, perfectly thrown football.
That was a great throw. Great throw, great route. He hit him right in stride, Herman.
Little crossing pattern across the middle. Came into one of those vacated areas. Ball was there. So they will replay the down here. Second and 10. 6:19 to go in this football game. You got 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. 2 to the near, 2 to the far. Hardy threw it into traffic that time. Defending on the play was number 24, Isaiah Ramadan.
And if you're going to throw those skinny posts and those short post routes, you at least got to get in behind that linebacker, Herman. You can't come across his face.
And you can't let him challenge the route, and that's what happened on that play.
Yeah.
He was right there with the receiver when the ball was thrown. Either could have caught it. Third down and 10 yards to go from the 45-yard line. 5.5 minutes remaining in this football game. Trips to the near side of the field. Hardy rolling to his right, looking. Got to get rid of it, and throws a pass out of bounds.
Got a late hit on the quarterback.
Now we got a late hit on the quarterback. That number 40 for Jameson Edwards coming up with the late hit. We don't normally identify players when they do stuff like that. I'm sorry. That was not Edwards.
Well, it's, what about a quarterback playing only in the fourth quarter and having 2 roughing penalties? Good guy. He must be.
They're teeing on you.
Yeah, he's coming up there and probably somewhere in his signals he's saying something derogatory, right?
And Zach's probably saying, they were hitting me all night and I didn't get 1 call.
That's right.
So first and 10 for James Monroe at the Spotsylvania 40-yard line. 5:10 remaining in this football game. 43-7 Knights pass, out pattern. And that's Jakari Struthers coming up with the reception.
No gain on the play, second
No gain, and they almost took the ball out of his hands. Wow.
Got to stretch the field here.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're going to throw a little out route, you got to pick some yards up off of it. You got to get down the field a little bit. That's too dangerous of a throw to make in the flats.
It is,
not to
isn't
pick
it?
yards up, because that flat pass, if it gets picked off, it's going back the other way.
Yeah.
Katie by the door.
All right, now.
2nd and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. And you got 4 wideouts. Quarterback looking, steps out of the pocket, rolls to his right, and dumps it out of bounds. Now, in defense of this young quarterback, we're talking about a Jack Hardy. All right, here we go. Official stat. Spotsylvania, they have not beaten the Yellow Jackets since the year 2000. So we're talking about 18 years, a drought.
Yeah.
And when was
see, there a couple years when we didn't actually play James Monroe there a couple years, Herman.
Hardy steps up looking to throw the football. He's going to be pulled down on a sack. A 4th down play coming up here with 3:33. Back to this. So it's been a long drought for Spotsylvania.
Yeah.
2000. But, Tim, you kind of owned this when you were out there coaching at Spotsylvania when you won the championship.
Yeah, we always had pretty good nights. Coach Survey and I had a lot of good competition against each other. I enjoyed it back in the day.
There's a pass, and pass going to be picked off on a return. That's Daquan Carter, 6-footer, 180 senior, coming up with the intercept. Laundry on the field.
Well, he's made a lot of plays for Spotsylvania tonight in a lot of different ways.
That's got to be at least 8 turnovers.
Yeah, he out-fought the man for that ball, I tell you what. Woo.
So the officials discussing something. Don't know. Either of you quarterbacks know?
Well, it could have been a flag for an ineligible receiver downfield, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, what we need is to mic these refs up, right?
So next week, James Monroe will be.
I think they got Cortland, don't they?
Cortland, yep.
It's not on my sheet, but it is Cortland next Friday night. Is it here, Bob, or wait?
It's here.
It is here.
Yeah.
I'll be in Petersburg, and
we'll hold down the thing for an upset, right?
Oh, they'll win big next week with me not here.
No.
So they had a holding call on the offense, and then a holding call on the return team after the interception. So they're marking off.
So Knights will keep possession of the football with 2:52. You're going to see an exclusive running game here now.
Yeah.
Run some time off the clock. The Spotsylvania will pick up their 4th win of the season. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Jones just left the press box. Nice hit. You can bet some of the Spotsylvania players are reserves. And the Yellow Jackets coming up with a good defensive play, a loss of 2 yards on that play, setting up a 2nd down, and we'll say 13 yards to go. Back in the day, on a Friday night football game, you know what will be coming up tomorrow? The dog march.
I wanted to say it, but I thought.
And let's see, a run and a scrum right around the 20-yard line.
Yeah,
Tim, you remember that?
Oh yeah, did they have dog? They don't have dog march. Do they have it anymore?
Yeah, Isaac Walton.
Isaac Walton. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think that's where they have that. I remember when they used to have it right here in Morris Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And pity on those folks that had to play Saturday night.
My dad, Herman, you know my dad's passed away. You know, he was a minister back in the day. My dad brought us to the dog mart. Well, we got ready to get something to eat. And John, my brother, he wanted a hamburger. Well, all they had was hot dogs.
Yeah.
Daddy tried to tell him, John ain't got no. Well, then John got mad. He threw a little fit, so Daddy put us in the car and took us home. So when we got to the house, Mama said, John, I heard the devil was in you today. And my brother, he said, nope, devil was driving the car. Oh, I'll never forget that.
Oh. Put that one on Dad, huh?
Yeah, put that one on Dad. Oh, Lord, that was funny.
Good story.
Yeah,
But
he
wanted
a hamburger.
lot of fun back.
Oh, it
Remember
was. I
the-
used to enjoy coming to the dog mart.
Remember the Pamunkey Indians?
All that business.
And the
Mattapani Indians. Both of them did their tribal dancing and stuff here.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't they have a parade with the dogs in the
Yeah.
parade?
Yeah, they had a little parade.
My mother was in that parade.
Yes. Isn't that something?
A whole pack of dogs around.
And then they would auction and sell dogs.
Yeah.
Hunting dogs. Spotsylvania keeping the ball on the ground. 50 seconds remaining in this one. Well, I know the Yellow Jackets coaches and players will be glad when this one is over.
Yeah, Spotsy's got the lineup in there now where they go home and say, Mom and Dad, I got in tonight. Did you see?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they had the police dogs from Richmond. You remember? They had the police dogs from Richmond that would scale the walls and all that stuff.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Remember it well.
That was some. I personally went to the dog mart a lot more than I went to the Fredericksburg Fair.
Yeah.
I hardly ever went to Fredericksburg Fair, but Daddy used to bring us to that Walmart a lot. I mean, to the dog mart a lot. That was a lot of fun.
I remember being away in the military, and one of the things I missed most from home was the fair.
Yeah.
We lived right near the fair, so we spent a lot of time going to the fair.
Rigging the fence, right?
Yeah, we had our boat cutters. We got it.
No.
That's going to do it. Spotsylvania picking up their 4th win of the season as they down the Yellow Jackets in a big way tonight, spoiling their homecoming. That final score, Spotsylvania 43, James Monroe 7. We'll be back after this timeout. Welcome back to Morris Stadium. It's the final 43-7 Spotsylvania over the Yellow Jackets. First win for Spotsylvania against the Yellow Jackets since 2000. And it's a big win. And Spotsylvania played flawless football tonight in a big win to spoil the Yellow Jackets homecoming. Gentlemen, any comments?
Tim?
Well, I think the first thing that jumps out at you, to me, Herman, as an old football coach, when you say the word homecoming, that is a tough week for a football coach to try to keep young men focused, ready to play, and you try about everything possible to motivate them. But it's just tough because of all the festivities, like you said, is going on. But, tonight, Spotsylvania come in here with this misdirection and this single wing, and just James Monroe just couldn't stop the running attack. And then, early in the game, JM was trying to answer, and then they had a mistake, turned the ball over on an interception, and then a fumble. Those are kinds of things, when you're trying to match scores with somebody, you just can't have to turn the ball over like that.
Thank you, Tim. Bob, your recap?
I hesitate to do this, but here we go. All right, it didn't take Spotsylvania long to let them know they meant business tonight with an 81-yard kickoff return, the opening kickoff, by the way. Daquan Carter did the honors there. Point after was good. That made it 7-0. Spotsy came back at 6:06 on a 4-yard TD run by Tayshawn Tyler. Point after good, 14-0 Spotsylvania, and for good riddance in the first quarter. At 2:52 on Spotsy scored again on a 2-yard run by Colbert, and the point after was good there, making it 21-0 Spotsylvania after the first quarter. They got into the second quarter, and Spotsylvania recovered actually JM recovered their own high snap, and then Spotsylvania tackled them in the end zone for a safety. They gave them a 23-0 lead. Spotsy added to that in the second quarter at 4:19 on an 11-yard TD run by Tyler. Point after was no good this time. Spotsylvania took a 29-0 lead into halftime. Spotsylvania scored again with just seconds left on the clock in the third quarter. The only score of the third quarter on a 1-yard plunge by Pendleton. The point after was good. It made it Spotsylvania 36 and JM nothing. JM finally put one on the board at 11:48, just inside the fourth quarter, on a 65-yard TD pass from Davis to Wooldridge. Point after was good for JM, and they were on the board. The score was 36-7, and then Spotsylvania added another touchdown at 8:44 on a 1-yard plunge by Trevor Croson. And point after there, I didn't mark it, but anyway, the final score was Spotsylvania 43 and James Monroe 7.
Thank you, Bob Blackburn, and now you can take a deep breath from reading all of that. Tim, don't go yet. I'm going to wrap up some final comments here. And 40-year class reunion celebrated tonight. Class of 1978 celebrating their 40th tonight. And we want to congratulate the class of James Monroe 1978. So quickly, final comments on tonight's game. I thought it was dominated by Spotsylvania. Yellow Jackets just never got on track. A lot of mistakes. I know at least 8 turnovers, and you certainly can't win football games when you turn the ball over that much. And most of those turnovers resulted in points for Spotsylvania. And that opening kickoff by Spotsylvania to get on the board kind of set the tone of the game tonight, and they never looked back, beating up on James Monroe 43-7. It was a big Spotsylvania win.
Yeah, it really was for those kids, Herman. And, and for James Monroe, those kids, they've still got a real good possibility of being able to make the Division III playoffs. Of course, they're going to have a tough game next week. They got Cortland, and that's never easy. Cortland's got a good football team, and I've seen them play a game early, first game of the season, played Louisa. Louisa spanked Cortland pretty good that opening week. But since then, Cortland has played pretty well. The only other game that Cortland's lost against Easton View. Of course, we know Easton View got a good football team. So James Monroe going to have they're going to have their hands full again next year and next week, and these coaches got to get them prepared.
Yeah, there's a couple of things stand out to me. I can't remember the last time JM allowed a kickoff return, the opening kickoff return.
I got you, Bob.
I can't remember that. And then you're right, Tim. Looking down the line, you're looking at Cortland, you're looking at Eastern View, you're looking at Culpeper. Those are all tough games for JM. So they're going to have to come up with a mighty miracle to.
We didn't miss much tonight. 2, 4, 6, 8 sets of eyes, and we caught everything that Spotsylvania did tonight, and they did it extremely well. So congratulations to Spotsylvania as they down the Yellow Jackets 43-7. Thank you, Bob Blackburn. Thank you, Tim Coleman and Jim Chandler. That's going to wrap it up for us here at Maury Stadium. Once again, that final score: Spotsy 43, James Monroe 7. We'll see you next Friday night when the Cortland Cougars come to town.